Hello everybody, my name's Star Raptor. Welcome to my review for Star Wars Ahsoka. So this is written by E.K. Johnston, but before I get into this review, I want to thank the people over at Disney Lucasfilm Press for providing me with this review copy. So what happens in Star Wars Ahsoka? Well, this story takes place approximately a year after the events of Revenge of the Sith, and it follows closely the character of Ahsoka Tano, apprentice of Anakin Skywalker, who's on the run from the Empire because recently there's been a purge of the Jedi, and most of them have been massacred through Order 66, so she's trying to keep a low profile. So now we see her out in the galaxy. She's trying to settle on this planet, this backwater outer rim planet called Rada, and she uses another name, another alias called Ashla to try to integrate herself into that culture to kind of just escape all the conflicts of the galaxy. But as we all know, she can't escape the galaxy from the Empire because they're everywhere, and she gets caught up in this conflict that she didn't really want to get caught up in, and it changes her for the better. So moving into my positives, first off, I want to say how I really appreciated that this felt like it was a continuation of the Clone Wars in a way. So you basically have Ahsoka, who was in the middle of the Siege of Mandalore when Order 66 went down. She had to escape, and now we see her on the run. So I really enjoyed how she was thinking about all the different characters of the Clone Wars, you know, about Anakin Skywalker. She thinks he's dead, about Obi-Wan Kenobi, all these other Jedi, her friends who are now gone. Another thing I really liked that E.K. Johnston put in this novel was an interlude sort of thing between every couple chapters, very similar to what Chuck Wendig does with the Aftermath trilogy. So we focus on different characters throughout this, you know, very close timeline before or after the events of the central story. Just fleshes out these characters and this time a little bit better for what we might have not have known. Another thing I really liked is obviously Ahsoka's journey in this novel. So she goes from the Clone Wars where she's, you know, she's just learning to deal with things on her own. You know, she's just starting to mature. But then we see her in a series of Rebels where she's this completely different, changed, stoic Jedi. Well, she's not really a Jedi, but this warrior. So we see now the transition starting in this novel. Certain events happen and make her go toward that Rebels persona. Now, also, speaking of Jedi, I really like how this novel expands on the lore of the Jedi. I didn't think we would get this from this novel, but we sure as heck did, and I really appreciate that. Another thing I really liked was the look at the Empire in its infancy. So this is 1 year, as I mentioned, after the events of Revenge of the Sith. So Order 66 has happened, and now we have the Empire expanding very, very rapidly from the core worlds out into the outer rim worlds, where they are just, you know, using cruelty and just absolute domination to take over these people. And you really start to see how bad these, you know, these people are as an organization, as an army. They are just ruthless. I really enjoyed what E.K. Johnston did when she started incorporating these emotional, strong moments in Ahsoka, you know, thinking about things of the past, about things that could have been, especially with her master Anakin Skywalker. That really tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. Also, I really, really liked how this transitioned from a very personal story of Ahsoka, you know, where she wanted to be in the galaxy now that the after effects of basically Order 66. So we start in that very personalized journey, and as the story continues, it starts to expand and include other elements out there besides her. Again, this is spoiler free. I don't really want to tell you guys much more than that. So getting started with my negatives, the first one I want to talk about is that the story took a little bit too long to get going until the midway point, then it started to pick up. Next up, I felt like the story was a little bit too reminiscent of the Clone Wars arcs, the Felucian arc as well as the Onderon arc. In both of those arcs in the Clone Wars, Ahsoka is tasked with training this force of, you know, peasants basically to fight at that time the Separatists, and basically she does this again with the farmers on this planet to fight the Empire. So not much of a difference there. And finally, the side characters in the story were pretty bland in my eyes. They really didn't add too much to the story, and they didn't leave an impact on me. But with that being said, I'm going to give Star Wars Ahsoka an overall score of an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this story. If you guys are a fan of Ahsoka, if you're a fan of Clone Wars, if you're a fan of Rebels, you're going to want to pick this up because this really expands on the overall time of the Dark Times. You know, the Empire, what they've been doing, what happened to the Jedi. You're going to want to read about all of this stuff. So, if you like this video, make sure you comment down below. Tell me what you thought about it right over there. Guys, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, @StarRaptor, and subscribe to this channel so you never miss another video. I do a ton of Star Wars videos, so make sure you check them out. I'm StarRaptor. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye. So, did you like the video? Then make sure you go ahead and hit that thumbs up symbol. And if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button down below. Doing so will help you stay up to speed on all of my latest content. Speaking of which, there's a recent video right over there. I'm also on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all @StarRaptor. So what are you waiting for? Let's get talking pop culture.